Hey guys, this is Apple Gamer 24/7. I'm here to give you guys today a what's on my iPad video for summer of 2013. In the last couple of videos I did a what's on my iPhone 5 and what's on my iPad mini, so I thought it might be appropriate to talk about the apps that I run on my iPad 3rd generation. So any further ado, let's get started. So starting at the top row, I got the Messages app. I use messages quite a bit on here to do iMessage of my computer or I'm away from my phone or my computer's. The calendar app, this is probably my most used app on this. I usually have some things like I have here. I have some YouTube video stuff on here. Just tell me I need to upload a video. But this is mainly what I do to edit my schedule on because of the keyboard and stuff. It just works pretty well. So I mainly use this app quite a bit. The Contacts app, pretty self-explanatory. Notes, don't really use notes on here too much like I do on my iPad mini. I mainly use notes on here for YouTube videos or just something quick to write something down. The Videos app, don't really use videos on here. I mainly use Netflix, but just there just in case I need it for something, in case I'm running a movie. iTunes in the App Store, I use that to buy new songs or new apps or new movies, what have you. Settings, the settings app, pretty self-explanatory. This iPad can't run, or is not able to run iOS 7, I believe, so there is no control center or anything else like that on here yet. Game Center, you guys know what I have to say about Game Center. I think it looks tacky compared to iOS 7, so that's what I think of that. Apple Maps, I use that quite a bit because this is the Retina display iPad. I like looking at new buildings or seeing sites on here and zooming in on them using the 3D apps, and also looking at cities via flyover. That's kind of something cool to do in your spare time. The camera app, I use that quite a bit on here sometimes in some of my videos when I do a 2-camera shot. I mainly use this as my second camera because of the size, and it just has a really good camera on the back of it, so I mainly use the camera of it as a secondary camera to my videos. Newsstand, don't really use on here too much. I think this iPad is too big to have a magazine on if you're going to use it on the couch. I prefer something like the iPad mini or something like that size to enjoy a magazine on. FaceTime, as you can see, I have 3 missed calls on FaceTime. I use FaceTime quite a bit on this because it's just handy to use. Photo booth, pretty self-explanatory, self-effects. YouTube app, one of the ways I watch YouTube videos and catch up on my subscriptions is using this iPad. So there's the official YouTube app. I just got updated a few days ago, actually. The books folder, this is one of many folders. I have the iBooks app, mainly use that for iBooks textbooks because I usually have all my textbooks on here. And I usually take notes and read stuff on my other iPad, or I actually do read some books on this particular iPad and take notes using the iPad mini. So that's mainly for consuming reading. Evernote, it's pretty self-explanatory, just a note-taking app between iOS devices and your Mac. And the Kindle app, because some things for school I need the Kindle app, so I have the Kindle on there just in case I need it. Keynote for viewing PowerPoint presentations, one of my frequently most used apps. I use that quite a bit, especially during the school season. I use that quite a bit. iMovie for iPad, just basically bought that for when the iPad came out. I was excited to see how iMovie worked, and I have to say it has some pretty good functionality if you're looking just to edit some quick video on the go. But personally, I rather carry around my MacBook Air with iMovie on it to do some real editing, but that's just for fun every now and then. Facebook for iPad, this traditional Facebook app, pretty self-explanatory. And Netflix, you guys probably get what that is by now. The Reminders app is on the second row, so you guys probably can see it right there. There's the Reminders app. Don't really use that on here too much. In the photography folder, I have iPhone for iPad, a really nice app. I really do like that for editing photos or just importing photos directly from my iPhone or my camera to here. If I'm on vacation or something, I can edit photos on the go and post them on Facebook, Twitter, and I'll upload them and save them. Just a really nice photo manager for the iPad. Wallpapers HD for finding wallpapers, but as of this moment I'm using a custom image, so I use that to find wallpapers once I get tired of my pictures. Skype for using Skype on the go. If I'm gonna Skype with somebody, I mainly use this because I find that Skype on the Mac uses a lot of resources, and this is just easier to use when in terms of Skype. I can video chat using the front camera. Just pretty cool. Diptych, this is an app that I like to use that allows you to stitch pictures together. Basically what you can do is you can have one picture here, one picture there, and you can add filters and effects, and you can upload them to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. A pretty self-explanatory app. Maybe I'll do an app review on it if you guys are interested. Display Recorder, this is a banned app in the App Store. It's no longer available, but I have it because I already downloaded it before it was banned. Basically what it allows you to do is allows you to record your iPad screen entirely without having to use a camera. The only reason I'm using a camera for this particular video is because The microphones in this, the microphone quality and the audio quality is quite bad on it, so I just figured using the camera would be easier. But if you just wanted to show your friend something, how to do something on your iPad, definitely check out Display Recorder if you can grab it from a friend, or you can find some other way to get it. Instagram, this is just the iPhone app just blown up to the iPad screen. Then we have Adobe Nav. That's an app for the iPad that allows you to control your Adobe Creative Suite apps from your iPad wirelessly. Just type in an IP address and you're able to control them. The next app I have here is the games folder. I have Bike Race TFG. That's a pretty cool game. Pretty much everybody knows about that. Epoch, that's a Gears of War type game for the iPad. Contact Killer Zombies, that's a really fun game. It's basically like Nazi zombies but for your iPad. Diamond Dash, I like that game a lot too. That was one of the first Retina optimized iPad apps that I downloaded because it took advantage of the iPad's display, and I have to say that's a really nice game to look on the Retina display. Bejeweled Blitz, I don't really play that game. That's mainly like a more social Bejeweled game, and you can connect it via Facebook and you can share your scores with your friends. And Highway Rider, that's a pretty cool game too. Next one I have is my utilities folder. I have FedEx Mobile for checking packages and tracking. I mainly use that if I'm going to have a new package delivered or something via FedEx. Airport Utility, you guys may have saw that in my last video. That's just an app for the iPad that allows you to control your airport network or your Wi-Fi network via your iPad without having to manage it from a computer. On my iPhone, I use that to track my devices in case they get lost or somebody steals them. I can track them down. Calculator Pro, just a simple calculator app for the iPad. In case you need a giant calculator, this is the perfect app for you. So it just works like a normal calculator. So pretty self-explanatory there. So we're gonna exit that. Let's see, we got dictionary.com for looking up dictionary definitions. Had that before iOS had its built-in dictionary built in, so I mainly used that before. Graphic this is a pretty useful app in case you guys are taking a math class either in high school or college and you need a graphing calculator. Instead of spending hundreds of dollars in a typical graphing calculator, definitely check out this app. It's I think it's 99 cents. But what it allows you to do, it gives you a full calculator, so you can type in any functions on here. You can do anything with that. You can do cosine, sine, tangent, your trigonometry functions, basically anything you want to do. You can actually type in equations on here, and it actually graphs them for you right here. So as you can see, you also get your table values in case you need to graph something yourself. You can look up the table values here. Really useful app. It saves you a lot of money if you're a student. You don't want to spend a ton of money on a calculator. Notability, that's a pretty useful app. I use that quite a bit. I'm going to do a video closer to the fall that I have the system that I put together for putting documents on your iPad. Mainly what I do is I scan it using my iPhone, or I have a scanner that I use, and I can send it to the Notability app, and I can make text boxes on that just like I would be writing on a typical piece of paper. I'll probably show that off more towards that video, but that's a pretty useful app just for writing on things during school. AIM is my next app that I pretty much use AIM to contact people. Pretty self-explanatory. The Weather Channel app, since the iPad doesn't have a default weather app like the iPhone does, I needed a weather app, so I just chose the Weather Channel. Google Drive for connecting to my Google Drive and syncing and creating documents on there. Squarespace for managing my website, and Google Chrome is the next app. Going into this games folder, I got Riptide GP, Temple Run, and Samurai vs. Zombies Defense. That's a cool game as well. In my entertainment folder, this is probably my most used category of apps. I got Xbox Smart Glass. I use that to control my Xbox and do some things on it, like navigate the menus, or some apps. I think on the Xbox One you can use a tablet to interact with some games. So that should be getting a lot more use once the Xbox One comes out. The Time Warner Cable TV app that allows me to view and watch live TV via my iPad, which is nice because it allows me to save money on cable. I don't have to have an actual cable subscription. I can just sign up with my internet account, and it gives me a full list of channels that I can watch via my iPad and my computer. Pandora Radio, don't really use that anymore. I don't even know why it's on here. It's kind of just sitting there randomly. The remote app for controlling my iTunes library. And the next app is Flickster for looking up movie times. Use that to look up movie times before I go see a movie. Hulu Plus, pretty self-explanatory. Amazon Instant Video, pretty self-explanatory. And Pinterest. Let's see, going into this games folder, I got Infinity Blade 2. That's a really cool game. I believe it's on sale right now, so you guys might want to check the App Store for that. Infinity Blade 1, I believe that's a free app now since Infinity Blade 2 is already out. Mega Run, that's a really fun game as well. Jetpack Joyride, pretty self-explanatory. I talked about it in a few other videos. Dead Trigger, that's a really cool game. It's like Nazi zombies, but for your iPad and some like a few other games like that. Flip Football, I did an app review on that last year, and also Ski Safari, which is also an app review I did last year. Let's see, Numbers, it's just a random app sitting there. It's basically like the Apple version of Excel, but I don't really use that, so I just keep it on there just in case I do need it. In this games folder, I got Angry Birds, the first classic Angry Birds in HD. That's probably my favorite game out of all of them. I like that one the most. Where's My Water? That's a really cool game. It's a sort of like a puzzle game. Definitely check it out if you're interested. Angry Birds Seasons HD. That's like Angry Birds but customized to the different seasons. They do one in Halloween. They also do one at Christmas. So different themes. Definitely give you more levels to play. So that's a really cool game. Angry Birds Rio HD. That's just the promotional game that came out when the Rio movie came out. I believe 2 years ago. Femi Oil HD is basically another puzzle game like Where's My Water. Fruit Ninja HD, pretty self-explanatory. Jenga, if you ever play Jenga, this is just the iPad version of that, so there's no mess with blocks, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Run Roo Run is just another one of those running games. It's pretty simple to play. And Sky Gambler's Air Supremacy, this is one of the games that Apple demoed at their iPad Retina conference to show off the Retina display, and I have to say that game is pretty fun to play on this screen. So definitely check that game out as well. Let's see, going over to this games folder, I have Real Racing 2 HD. That's a pretty cool game. It's one of the only iPad games that I know of that actually supports AirPlay. So what that means is if you have AirPlay hooked up to your TV, your iPad becomes the controller, and all the action takes place on your TV, which is pretty cool. So that's that. Touch Hockey, basically like air hockey, but for the iPad. Archery for the iPad. Don't really play that on here too much. It was just a freebie game that I just stuck in here. Words with Friends HD, I really don't play that too much anymore like I used to. Bejeweled, that's probably my favorite one. I like that one the most. So Bejeweled, pretty self-explanatory. Dotline is basically another one of the connected dot games that you can play on your iPad. And Mirror's Edge. Let's see, then we got the Clock app, pretty self-explanatory. Rayman Run, that's a cool game as well. I talked about that in a few other videos. The Amazing Spider-Man that came out last year or 2 years ago when the Amazing Spider-Man movie came out. That's like the game that goes along with it. HBO Go, pretty self-explanatory. Talked about it in a few other videos. Zombie Swipeout HD. That's basically a Zynga game. It's basically Fruit Ninja, but instead of fruits, you are slashing zombies. Mega Man X is basically a Mega Man remake, but for the iPad. Asphalt 7, another racing game. That's a pretty cool game. And Plant vs. Zombies HD. On this one, we have Tiny Wings HD. That's a cool game. I talked about it in a few other videos. Angry Birds Star Wars, pretty self-explanatory. Interlock, it's basically one of those games that you have to connect the pieces together, sort of like Lego. Another one I have here is called History. The History Channel app is the History Channel app that allows me to do watch the back catalog, 8 History Channel shows via my iPad without having to look online for them. Puss in Boots, Fruit Ninja HD. I got that when the Puss in Boots movie came out a couple years ago. That was just another app that was promoting it. I believe it's free now, so you can go download it. Monster Dash is just another one of those games starring the same character in Jetpack Joyride. The next game I have here is Ark. That's basically Star Fox. If you ever played Star Fox with the Super Nintendo or the Nintendo 64, this is basically the iPad version. The next one is Electro Toolkit. That's basically a calculator full of equations or calculators to do basic electronic math. So I'll show this one to you guys. You got one for Ohm's law, polar versus rectangular power triangle. Just a bunch of other ones if you need an equation done. If you don't know the formula, you can basically use this app to help you figure it out. You got the A&E app for watching A&E, same with the History Channel. Candy Crush, everybody knows about that game. Tetris, pretty self-explanatory. GoDaddy, pretty self-explanatory. I can basically manage my domains and my GoDaddy email from the GoDaddy app. Temple Run 2, pretty self-explanatory. Granny Run, talked about that in my last 2 videos, so you guys gotta watch those 2 videos if you want to know more information about that. Real Race HD3. That's a really cool game. It's basically the sequel to Real Racing HD2. Hungry Shark, I talked about that in the last video. Skee Ball, pretty self-explanatory. Bubble Dash is basically like a bubble game that you bounce the bubbles off the wall and they break stuff. And Mini Golf. And then in my dock for this particular iPad, I got the Safari web browser, the default mail app, Tweetbot, my preferred Twitter client if I could talk. Pages for iPad, use that a lot. Type all my documents on here because of the keyboard, really nice, so I use that quite a bit. The Photos app, use that to manage my photos, and the Music app. So yeah guys, that's basically about it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.